What is up, GH fam? Welcome back to the channel for another deep dive into the wild, unpredictable world of Port Charles. Today is a beautiful day to unpack some seriously explosive drama, and trust me, you are going to want to grab a snack and settle in for this one. We have massive bombshells dropping from every corner of the hospital to the PCPD, and the stakes have literally never been higher. Let's kick things off on a slightly lighter note before we dive into the absolute madness. Over at Haven Bistro, our resident young lovebirds Emma Scorpio Drake and Giovanni Gio Palmieri are having a seriously adorable moment. Gio finally lets Emma in on a massive secret he has been keeping, and he reveals that he has a huge surprise for her. Emma, being the absolute sweetheart that she is, squeals with excitement and playfully demands to know how long he has been holding out on her. And you won't believe what happens next. Gio has actually booked a romantic weekend getaway to New York City. But here's the kicker, folks. This isn't just any regular sightseeing trip. Gio is taking Emma to Broadway to see the hit musical Aladdin. And because Gio is apparently the most connected guy in the music world, thanks to his violin skills, he reveals that he is old friends with Michael James Scott, the actor who plays the genie. Emma is going to be absolutely starstruck. I have to say, I am loving this storyline. Emma has been under so much stress lately with her grandmother, Anna Devane, being strictly off limits to visitors by doctor's orders. This poor girl has been terrified that she might never see her grandmother again. Gio stepping up to distract her and bring some pure joy back into her. Life is exactly the kind of classic soap romance we need right now. It honestly gives me flashbacks to the pure innocent love of Robin Scorpio and Stone Cates from the 90s. Gio is proving to be a fiercely protective and loving partner, and this Broadway crossover is going to be a fantastic treat for the fans. But let's be real for a second, the happiness in Port Charles never lasts long, does it? The mood shifts drastically when we head over to General Hospital. The aftermath of the horrific Route 91 car crash is tearing people apart. Isaiah Gannon is trying his best to be the voice of reason, but he is getting absolutely nowhere. After trying to encourage a severely injured Jordan Ashford, she completely loses her mind and screams at him to get the hell out of her hospital room. And if that wasn't bad enough, Curtis Ashford then launches a furious confrontation against Isaiah. Why? Because Curtis is furious that Isaiah was present for Portia Robinson's prenatal appointment instead of him. Are you kidding me, Curtis? I think his behavior right now is completely out of line. Curtis is running around trying to play the ultimate savior for Jordan hovering over her hospital bed, while his own pregnant wife Portia is left to navigate her appointments with Isaiah. Curtis is acting like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. Isaiah ends up finding Portia and giving her a very grim update. He warns her that while there might be a fragile peace right now, he has no idea how long it is going to last. And I am entirely on Isaiah's side here. The dynamic between Portia, Isaiah, Curtis, and Jordan is a ticking time bomb. Curtis is emotionally cheating on Portia by being so deeply entangled in Jordan's recovery. And Isaiah is the only one realistic enough to see the impending disaster. Speaking of Jordan, she is going through absolute psychological hell right now. She finally cools down a bit and confides in Curtis, telling him that she has a specific request. She admits that she is completely overwhelmed by everyone trying to help her. The pity is suffocating her. Isaiah tried to tell her that healing is a long process, and that is exactly what triggered her meltdown. Jordan is likely flashing back to when Michael Corinthos was severely injured, and it took him nearly a year to recover. Jordan is a fiercely, independent, beautiful, powerful woman. She was the police commissioner, the deputy mayor, and an undercover operative for Jen Sidwell. Now she is lying in the hospital bed, weeping over the potential of permanent facial scars. What is her request going to be? I predict she is going to ask Curtis to push everyone else away, including Portia, so she can hide from the world. Or perhaps she is going to ask him to use his underworld connections to find the absolute best underground plastic surgeon money can buy. Either way, this trauma is going to bond Curtis and Jordan in a way that will absolutely shatter Portia's heart. Meanwhile, over at the Port Charles Police Department, the cover-up of the century is currently underway, and the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Cassius Faison, who is still successfully masquerading as Detective Nathan West, is giving Commissioner Dante Falconeri the latest update on Jordan and Curtis's crash. Cassius reveals a massive piece of the puzzle while Jordan blames herself for taking her eyes off the road to kiss Curtis. There is a glaring issue. The other car that ran them off the road just kept going. The driver didn't even look back. Cassius points out that surely the driver must have seen something in their rearview mirror. Now we as the audience know exactly what happened. Brooklyn Quartermain was driving tipsy after having wine at Charlie's pub. She hit the guardrail, panicked about failing a breathalyzer, and fled the scene, completely unaware that she caused Jordan to swerve and crash. Tracy Quartermain is currently enforcing a ruthless cover-up to protect Brooke Lynn and her chances of fostering baby Phoebe with Harrison Chase. But Cassius brings up a terrifying point to Dante. What about traffic cameras? He mentions that there must be footage out there. This is a brilliant callback to when Laura Collins had a flat tire in that exact same area, and incriminating photos mysteriously surfaced from somewhere. If Cassius gets his hands on traffic cam footage showing Brooke Lynn's car fleeing the scene, the Quartermains are doomed. And let's not forget, Cassius is a villain playing a cop. If he finds out Brooke Lynn is the culprit, he won't arrest her. He will absolutely blackmail the incredibly wealthy Quartermain family to fund Jen Sidwell's dangerous cold fusion project. Dante is a brilliant detective, but he is currently being played by a master manipulator. Let's shift gears and head over to Bobby's Diner, where the generational drama is serving up some hot tea. Josslyn Jax and Lulu Spencer are catching up, and Josslyn is aggressively digging for answers about Ross Cullum and the entire Pier shooting investigation. Lulu, acting like the protective mother she is, gives Josslyn a very stern warning. She looks Josslyn dead in the eye and tells her that Britt Westbourne is nothing but trouble, and that she needs to keep her distance from all the dangerous drama Britt is involved in. I have to pause here, because the historical irony of this conversation is absolutely staggering. Many newer fans might not realize just how deep the hatred between Lulu and Britt actually goes. We have to look back over a decade ago. Britt Westbourne literally stole Lulu and Dante's fertilized embryo and implanted it in herself. She carried and gave birth to Rocco Falconeri, trying to pass him off as her own child with Dante to trap him. Of course, Lulu thinks Britt is a monster. To Lulu, Britt is the woman who violated her in the most horrific way possible. But Josslyn isn't buying it. Josslyn pushes back, remembering that Britt literally saved her life from the hook killer that day on the docks. Britt put her own life on the line to save Josslyn, and because of that, Josslyn is giving her a pass. Josslyn is actively covering up her own rogue WSB connections and is determined to stay tangled up in Britt's mess. I think Josslyn is being incredibly reckless here. She is playing junior spy, completely underestimating how ruthless men like Ross Cullum and Jen Sidwell truly are. If Cullum figures out Josslyn has WSB ties, her life is going to be in grave danger. But all of this drama pales in comparison to the absolute heart-stopping climax that goes down in the General Hospital chapel. This scene is pure, unadulterated soap opera gold, and it had me screaming at my screen. Britt Westbourne is in the chapel when Rocco Falconeri approaches her. Rocco has been carrying an agonizing, soul-crushing secret, and the guilt is finally eating him alive. He breaks down and confesses the absolute truth to Britt. He is the one who shot Ross Cullum on the pier. Can you believe it? The tension in this scene is suffocating. Rocco explains that he was in Cullum's room earlier, delivering an extra pillow because he was catching up on some missed community service hours. Seeing the man he shot lying in that hospital bed pushed Rocco over the edge. He tells Britt that he pulled the trigger to save both her and Jason Morgan's lives. And how does Britt react? She completely loses her mind. Britt goes into a full-blown visceral panic. She grabs Rocco and shouts, "If Cullum finds out that you shot him, we're dead." She is yelling so loudly that you have to wonder if Cullum can hear her echoing down the hospital halls. Let's break down the deep psychological layers of this moment, because it is a masterpiece of writing. Britt is terrified, and rightfully so. She knows exactly who Ross Cullum is. She knows that Cullum is a cold-blooded assassin who literally stabbed Marco Rios to death in cold blood. She knows that Jen Sidwell ordered Cullum to control her medication to force her to finish César Fizan's dangerous prototype. Cullum is a monster. If he finds out that a teenager shot him in the back, he will not hesitate to murder Rocco. But look at the poetic justice and the full-circle nature of this storyline. Britt, the woman who once stole Rocco as an embryo to use him as a pawn, is now standing in a chapel, realizing that this very same boy just committed attempted murder to save her life. Jason Morgan, the ultimate stoic protector, is currently sitting in a WSB holding cell falsely imprisoned, sacrificing his own freedom to protect Rocco from the authorities. And now Britt is holding this explosive secret. Britt's entire redemption arc has been building to this moment. She has spent years trying to prove she isn't the evil Britt she used to be. Now she is faced with the ultimate test. She has to protect Lulu's son, the son she once tried to steal. I predict that Britt is going to go to extreme deadly lengths to protect Rocco. She told Lucas Jones that she was fed up and refusing to finish the prototype, but now she has leverage and she has a desperate motive. I think Britt is going to realize that the only way to keep Rocco safe and to get Jason out of WSB custody is to eliminate Ross Cullum permanently. We are setting up for a massive May sweep showdown. Will Britt manipulate Cassius into taking out Cullum? Will she use her medical knowledge to tamper with Cullum's or will Jen Sidwell find out the truth first and order Pascal to wipe out the entire Falconeri family The walls are closing in on everyone in Port Charles. Brooklyn is suffocating under the weight of her hit-and-run secret. Curtis is destroying his marriage to save Jordan. Josslyn is playing a deadly game of cat and mouse with the WSB. And Britt Westbourne is holding the fate of Jason Morgan and Rocco Falconeri in her trembling hands. This is why we watch, people. The drama is relentless, the history is incredibly rich, and the consequences are going to be deadly. Let me know in the comments below what you think Britt is going to do next. And if you think Brooklyn is going to get busted by the traffic cams, keep your eyes peeled because Port Charles is about to explode.